Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. Miro, all this winter shit is your fault. What have you been up to? Where do we see Miro next? Set the scene for me. Are you at home working on things? Have you
How
gone
how
have you gone to the church? What's your jam?
how long's it been?
I mean, I don't know. I think like this can be sometime in the next days.
Okay,
We'll
like
get
a week,
everybody.
like a week or
Yeah,
something.
I kind of want to give everybody like you and Agatha had your thing. We had a scene with Alessandra, and then maybe catch everybody back up in the castle or
Yeah,
whatever.
I was just wondering like
Hmm.
how long.
Yeah. So Miro, what's your jam? What are you up to? What do you do?
So obviously, Brother Miro has been very distracted by the results of his summoning, which, I mean, to him are ostensibly successful. He summoned an angel of some kind, and it's made things cold, and that's difficult for people. But like, who cares? Because they're suffering under the angel as well, so it's fine. Who
Hmm.
cares? That's great. But what he needs to do, because he didn't get any information out of it, them, is find out a way of properly communing with it. So um, I think he's been trying to do some research. He's headed to the church's archives and
Yes.
yeah,
That's
research the best way to commune with angels.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Right? Is that like now that you've seen this thing, you can kind of work backwards to try to figure out what it is, like which angel and what kinds of things it needs or wants or likes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel that. Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean the church here, we had talked about the Church of the Conclave being built, but it's not the kind of elder church of this town, right? Like the church building that was originally created alongside the castle is the old church of Carpathia, and that's been there for forever. But also, there's this new unfinished Church of the Conclave, this mighty cathedral that was being built, but didn't quite get finished. So I assume you're in the old church, right? Like that would be where the kind of ancient scrolls and what have you are kept.
yeah, I would imagine so as well.
Okay, all right. So the elder church, I think, the the king declared with by under the guidance of the elders of the church. The king declared the Church of the Conclave to be the chapel of the Conclave to be like no one is allowed to go there by order of the king and the patriarch, right? Like that's where the high patriarch is right now. He's in communion, and it's for church business only. But the elder church, I think, is packed. There are people all around it, right? There has been for the last days and nights a great vigil to God, whether to serve as a wake or to wait in faith for his return. There are crowds of like now freezing people gathered around the church, and like there have been deaths, right? People have frozen to death outside the church, waiting for God to come back and save them.
Yep.
And so we see this scene, this bustling like crowd scene, but it's sedate, right? It's like people waiting for something, anything to happen, and so there's this kind of like resigned, frigid energy in the crowd, where all these people are huddled under blankets and cloaks, standing around the church. And you notice um, we see, I think, occasionally a servant or someone from one of the houses who is here in their lord's stead, right? Like the nobles don't want to personally come and stand around waiting for God to come back to life, so they send someone in their place. By some like church like loophole or whatever, they're allowed to be like spiritual stand-ins. So we see maybe like groups of people shivering in the livery of the noble houses, holding like a banner, freezing for their lord's piety. Um, and we pan up through this frigid mass to the ancient church, this huge stone structure. And yeah, it's very much in the old style, very very like Carpathian dark stone. probably carved with symbology of the house of Larix, right? Lots of like trees and branches kind of built into the outsides. And I think that Brother Miro, you've passed through this crowd into the
Oh, I couldn't possibly leave a crowd of faithful without some words, some scripture to come.
right. No, that makes sense. So we see you. I think we see you passing through the crowd, and you're ascending the stairs. The church doors are they're shut, but there are two. I think probably miserable looking monks standing outside, like shivering, and they see you come in with the stairs. And one of them reaches for the door to let you in because you can come and go. You're a member of the clergy, but you stop. You hesitate.
Yeah, he stops. He's up the stairs a little bit. Yeah, like he kind of looks up a little bit, and there's this one snowflake that kind of catches his eye, and he sees it, and because he's like just super crazy, just like he's like, and then he like counts it, and he's like, oh, it's got 7 prongs on it. Okay, and he like nods, and the other monk who's holding the door open by now is probably like,
Yeah, totally. That's the look, right? We see the focal plane shift where it's like the snowflake floats as a blur, a piece of dust into your vision. We see your face, and then the focal plane shifts to the snowflake as it like kind of stops in midair, and just like you're entranced by it, and then it shifts back behind you where the monks are looking at you like, what the fuck is going on, and like shivering and holding the door open.
yeah. So he nods as if he's realized something, and he turns, and kind of in sort of a loud voice, because we've established he's got his church voice and he's got his kind of self voice. And he kind of calls out to the crowd, and he says, let not the winter chill your bones, for while the Lord's light may seem obscured by cloud, you can still find it in the hearts of your loved ones and of the faithful, or just something like that.
Okay, so I think initially when you begin to speak, the crowd kind of like looks up like, oh, is something happening? And then like a murmur passes through the crowd, and you start to get their attention. What do you want to happen here? What is the purpose of your address?
I think that I would like people to notice that it is me, and I would like them to take some small comfort in my faith that I'm sharing with them.
Okay.
It doesn't have to like be a big effect. I don't have to get people to like start praying then and there. It's just I feel like the angels have asked me to address these people, so I'm going to.
Right. So you're just trying to bolster their faith, like tough it out, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure. Stay out here, keep freezing to death. It's fine. All right. Let's have you make a test. The obstacle of oratory is the most common will exponent in the crowd. These are just commoners.
Is it oratory or is it suasion?
This is oratory for sure. This is giving a speech. So yeah, ob2 for oratory.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there is another skill called religious diatribe, but it's for angry religious types.
Yes, I also have that, but this is
if you were trying to like rile them up to be like, God says burn down the nobles' houses and take what's yours, that would be religious diatribe. This is just like giving a speech. Yeah, angry religious types. specialized form. But you could certainly fork. You could certainly fork it once you have. Do you have oratory?
I do have
Okay,
oratory.
so you could you could fork religious diatribe into oratory for sure.
Yeah, I will do that in that case then.
Okay, so it's ob 2. If you succeed, they this is a moment they will remember. Brother Miro gave them a speech, and that they have the blessings of the angels to like stay here in their vigil.
Yeah.
If you fail, well, there's no worries there. All right.
I forgot we were specifically setting that up.
No, it's fine. We don't always have to. I mean, I think that in this case, the failure would have been maybe they like get angry or like shout you down, or someone in the crowd gets like angry. But yeah, no, you did fine. You got 3. And so yeah, I think that there isn't like a big like shouty like elated response. There's just like a sense of like, yes, we're doing the right thing. This is what we need to do. And I think maybe a few people in the front of the crowd like reach out to you. Like they want, like, they're like, oh, bless us, Brother Miro. And like, you see these hands reaching up from the crowd, shivering.
And he holds out, he takes because I imagine he has a book of scriptures under his like bound up arm, so his left arm all the time. So he takes that, puts it in his right, and he holds out the hand like towards it's really hard to do this. This is kind of why I picked it. Because like holding down 2 fingers without moving the other ones is really difficult. But obviously, since it's all bound, it's like, so he's holding it out to them, and he like uses the tips of the fingers to like the closest person's like hand or head or whatever, and just like smiles kind of very beatifically at them.
Yeah, and so there are a few the gathered people that are in the front. They like touch your hand and look to each other and nod. And then the 2 monks at the door have gone from being like, what's going on, to like nodding and being like, oh, what a goodly, what a saintly thing to do, to like just in passing bolster these poor people's will.
But when we talk about how Dave is responsible for the deaths of anyone who has died of like from the cold,
related entirely Brother Miro's fault.
This is entirely his fault that he has like accidentally artificially created this crisis for him to then sweep into and be nice in.
Yeah,
just saying.
I just want to remind everyone that's what's going on, and it's really fucked up.
Yes. Oh yeah, totally.
And I really like the fact that I don't think he's aware of that at all.
No, not at all.
That's right. Like he doesn't.
Way too far gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll sweep inside. He'll sweep inside out of the cold and begin his search. I think for texts and stuff that he can use and research.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So you're welcomed inside. The ancient inside of this church is heated with hundreds and hundreds of candles that are laid on all of these shelves along the sides of the church. There's a long stone walkway up to I don't know the names of the different parts of a church, but like the back where the big religious icon would be and where the priest would speak, and then on either side there are places for people to sit, and then there are pews up at the front, and then you can go behind the big like icon and into the temple, like church
it's
proper.
Probably called like a transept.
Yeah, nave. There's some shit.
Tabernacle.
Yeah. But behind that, there's access to the catacombs beneath the church, and that's spread out like, significantly larger area below the church itself. And then you can go up to the bell tower, and there's other things within the church. But you take a candle down from the wall and head for the church archives.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you doing in the archives? What are you looking for?
So he needs to find information on ways that like saints or other important figures have communed with angels in the past. Because I think I mean, you can feel free to.
I mean, do you have angel eyes?
I do. I have Imperialia.
Imperialia, let's take a look here. Because the research is just kind of getting you like a link test for Imperialia, right? Imperialia is like the interpretation of angelic stuff.
Sure. Yes, that's kind of what I was going for. I figured I'd test it at one point or another.
Yes. Okay. So I think let me take a quick look at demonology and see what its description is here to see what you already would know and what I need you to roll for. Let's see. 267. Okay. So what's your exponent for that? How many dice do you have in demonology?
I have 3.
Okay, so pretty well trained in Imperialia.
Yeah.
The study of and history and behavior of angels, an academic skill that doesn't involve the act of summoning, identifying activity as opposed to a prank, identifying types of spirit, identifying. Okay, yeah. So you can just make this test off the top of your head, but the archives would allow you to get some additional dice to determine what creature this is. Okay, so why don't we have you make a research test or something like that as you search through the archives? Is that a skill?
I'm not sure. If it is, I don't have it, but we can have a look.
It is. Research is a skill. The art of navigating libraries, collecting, gathering data, and collating coherent reports.
Okay. Yeah. Let's open it then.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Okay. All right.
What's the route for it?
Research is based on perception.
Okay, not quite as good at it as other things, but not bad. Let's mark those. Okay. What would it typically be?
You're looking in a religious archive for information about saints interacting with angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like ob 3, but like an advantage die because of the library.
Okay, ob 3. I'll have to be quite lucky on this one then, but we'll. 1 advantage die. Arthur, not yet. Base obstacle. Yeah, when you click specifically on the being learned part, you just put the base because it doubles.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you got 2. One of them is 6. You might as well spend a.
I might as well spend
a fate. You got lots. You basically always spend fate. Yeah.
Pretty much. So let's start re-rolling some 6s.
Okay. There's 1. So that's 3 of 6. Okay. All right. So mark that you spent a fate on your perception. You can start opening research. I think the thing is the thing that's going to make this hard, it's making your Imperialia thing, is picking truth from myth. Right. You know, these are dark times, this modern era. Even before things started getting bad, you know that we live in a cursed age, right? In the age of the saints, when man and God were closer together, you know, back before these pagans came and started ruining things, and you know the men became sinful. There was an age of enlightenment where, you know, angels and men walked among each other. You know, but the problem is that time was so long ago, and so many lies have been written to you know, fluff up some noble or another's lineage. Everybody wants a saint in their house. That now it's hard to tell what's real from what's false. And so that's the problem, right? Is that there's all these old scrolls and books and stuff where you're like, oh, Saint whoever of this place, you know, didst commune with the angel of peace, but thrice. And you're like, okay, but not really. Like, you know, this is a lie, but there's other stuff that's harder to pick apart.
Well, likewise, it kind of doesn't matter if it's true, if it doesn't have some sort of ritual, listed. A lot of the time, I'm sure it just says, and then they spoke to the angels, and it describes all, the heavenly voices and chorus. I'm like, yeah. Where's the,
the other.
I want a cookbook for it. I want to.
Yeah, right. So you're reading a parable about the saint and the angel of peace, and you're like, but how did he make the angel talk to him? The other thing too is that pious men, angels come to them unbidden, right? You don't call the angels. The angels.
You don't just call the angels.
Yeah, they come to you, but
You do.
yeah, but you do. You know how. You did it yesterday. You just didn't do it quite right. Let's have you make your Imperialia roll.
I'd like to actually do something before that because I didn't manage to get any advantage from.
Yeah,
research.
you're down a die for the next test. Yeah.
But I think it's important when I'm dealing with this. This is very important to me. It's part of one of my beliefs that I should use every tool I have at my disposal, and I can use magic. And one of the art magic schools that I have is advantage. So I think I'm going to try and grant myself advantage using a spell.
Okay.
So I can divinely ascertain.
Cool. And for everybody, just to be aware, casting a spell is like a corruption mark, right? Like this is what Brother Miro is doing here is in some way or another putting a black mark on his soul, a tiny blot of ink on an otherwise.
Oh, my soul is already so far. I don't think this even counts as a test for me.
Look, what it's actually is he's gonna piss off some demon because he's getting ink on that demon's brand new soul that they just acquired.
Okay, so you want to invoke a spell.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So what do you need to do for that? It's a sorcery test.
Okay, so it'll be a sorcery test. Advantage is in my 3 like basic schools. I guess we could talk about that because we've seen Agatha's, but we haven't seen mine yet.
Yeah.
So the School of Magic, I have, since you have to name it, and this was a little bit tricky because they wouldn't specifically teach you magic. So we're kind of going by like what it would probably be called or what he's named it based on like this particular scriptures that he studied as a gifted pupil. So we have, what do they call it? The gifts and blessings of the 3rd scrolls of Saint Jeremiah,
Awesome.
the Saint of Understanding.
Nice.
It's about advantage, arcane knowledge, and strangely, illusion.
Nice. So yeah, Saint Jeremiah is like a divine magician. I imagine him to be like a Hermes Trismegistus like sort of figure, right? The divine scientist. He's the guy the kind of philosopher's stone myths spring up around. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and there's I'm sure we can get into it a little bit more, but there's some stuff there about illusion sometimes, or like illusion in the pursuit of justice and goodness being more true than like what people actually know.
Right.
That's like part of it.
I like it. Okay, cool. So you call upon the tricks that were taught to you by the Order of Saint Jeremiah. And call forth advantage. How much advantage on this Imperialia test do you want? 1, 2, or 3 dice?
I'm going to go for 2 dice of advantage.
Okay.
Because I'm only casting on myself.
Correct.
So there is no like penalty to increase it.
And just for the one test?
For one test. So it'll just be an ob 3, which I have 3 in sorcery, and it's open. So we'll give that a shot.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, totally.
Indeed.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Nothing. Casting spells in the ancient archive while you look at books about angels to know about angels and then some other angel stuff. It's totally not gonna. Nothing's gonna go happen.
If I really want to ruin the campaign, just every time anyone fails it, just summoning, fake summoning. Just the whole world will be run over with demons any moment. Yeah, go ahead and make that sorcery test.
Okay, and since this is just for advantage, you don't need to set out like specific things. You can.
Yeah, I feel like if you fail, I'm just gonna tax you. But go ahead and make that roll.
Oh.
Did you get any 6s? You did not. Okay.
Already recommended.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'll spend a fate point.
Reroll. Yep.
To reroll a traitor though.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no.
All right. So yeah, I think that the sacred arts of Saint Jeremiah are taxing upon the mortal form. Right. Let's have you make a tax test. It's a fort test with the same obstacle as the spell.
Fort. I think I'm slightly better at this, weirdly. Same obstacle as the spell. That was 3. Nope, I'm not good at it.
Okay, what? Your fort? Yeah, your fort is 4, right?
Yeah.
So your margin of failure temporarily reduces fort. So your fort is reduced to 1. Or no, it's reduced to 2, right? Because you failed it. You missed by 2. Yeah. So yeah, you are physically taxed. You are staggered by this magic. And I think we see the candlelight flickering, your vision getting kind of blurry. Maybe you haven't eaten all day, and the art takes its toll. And so you just kind of like sway a little and feel like suddenly like weak and pale. Yeah. Now you can still make that last test. We still need to get that Imperialia test. So let's have you do that. And then I'm gonna jump over to another scene after that, but I'll let you look up how to recover from tax. It's in the sorcery chapter.
Okay.
So make that Imperialia test. You're at -1 die from the failed research, from getting your brain turned around by all these falsehoods. The problem with this library is they shelve all the secular stuff alongside the true religious stuff, so you can't tell what's what. But if you succeed, what's your intent here to succeed? Oh yeah, that's right. The ob is 1, not -1 die. I gotta remember that.
Oh, sorry. The ob is increased by 1.
Yeah, but we gotta figure out what the ob is. But what's your intent?
The intent is to find a concrete method that I can begin working towards to properly commune with the angel that I've summoned.
Okay, can we scale that back, because I don't know that intent is possible yet. Can we instead say, and you can say no, you can say I'm gonna go for this other thing, but if you're looking for a particular angel, I think you need to figure out who it is that you're trying to get the attention of first. So maybe maybe your intent can be like identifying the angel first.
Yes, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Actually thinking about it, considering how high the ob was to summon it, it's probably going to be pretty high to talk to it too.
Yeah, but the inverse being true, the more powerful the creature, the easier it'll be to recognize, right?
Right. Okay. So in that case,
ob 2 bumped up to ob 3 by the research test.
Okay.
And you can fork things for Imperialia if you have anything.
Well, I got a 6, so let's spend some fate.
Okay.
Is it too late to fork now?
Yeah, because you know you can, but that's okay.
Yeah, I just forgot that was the thing I could do.
Yeah, that's okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
Can't work it out today. So
yeah, I think that the thing is you need access to someone who knows more about angels than you do. And I think the thing here is you'll have to act quickly, because those people, that the foremost heads of the church are currently in town, though many of them are now leaving. If you could gain access to someone who knows more about these things, someone higher up in the church, someone's important priest uncle, perhaps, you might be able to grill them, and they might be able to tell you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And I think I'm going to give you that one for free. You know that one of the elders of the church has come here all the way from the inner sea, a priest of House Corvidae, who has studied the Angelarium, someone who knows a great deal about these things. And it occurs to you perhaps a conversation with him might be in order.
Cool.
Yeah, cool indeed. So let's jump to Joy. Joy, you some time ago found yourself with Agatha in the castle. You had that situation. You woke up the next morning in a room that seemed much more familiar to you now that you saw it in the light of day. And then what about your business? Where do we see you? What are you up to? Because you've got some stuff to do.
There's been a week since I woke up.
I mean, not necessarily. Like, there's been just some time. But yeah, if you have a thing that you want to do, let's see where it is.
So I still need to talk to the king.
Okay.
Hopefully in an informal setting, because I can't really speak to him in court in such a way that is, disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I can really do that anyway, but I it's necessary for me to keep tabs on this whole, like, God's dead. Let's not hinge this royal situation that's keeping us both, afloat, in our, current places,
Mm-hmm.
On following them into the grave of their God kind of stuff.
Mm.
So I need to talk to him. And I also need to speak to Lady Elisandra, but that's probably not going to happen until she's at court, because I'm basically chained to this place.
I figure Elisandра's at court a lot, though. Like,
yeah,
more often than she is at her estate.
I mean, I would imagine so, but we've already said that she's like there, and then
She can be back now.
stuff happening.
There can be a thing. I want to start getting more scenes with multiple characters in them anyway. So.
Okay, I just feel like this is messing the timeline up that we've got going here.
No,
like,
we're all like ready to jump back together, timeline wise. It's fine. Don't worry too much about that. You're all in the same place.
Because I know that Blue Jay's character was waiting for a meeting.
Yeah, but maybe that had already happened, and
maybe that's happened.
Flash back to it or something.
Sure.
It's not important.
Okay.
I think it's
Cool.
fine for it to take place whenever. Let's not worry.
Right.
Don't worry
I'm
too
just,
much about keeping.
I'm just trying to keep things
cohesion.
straight.
Yep.
Keep things straight. So I think if a couple of days go by, and I'm trying to get the king's attention in sort of a private space, I can't imagine I have a whole lot of luck with that. He's probably a busy guy.
He's very busy, especially right now. Yeah.
So then I will, probably a day or two after I've been dream interpreted by Agatha. Maybe this is a nugget of information that Elisandra will want to know. And so I go to see her in her assigned chambers at the court, or at the court itself if there's a meeting going on. I don't know what the scene
So the court
set is.
The court is really just like the big room where the king is, and he takes meetings with people. Like, he talks to people that come to address him in the court, like out in the open. He does obviously keep secret counsel with other folks, but most of the time it'll be like people will come to him and be like, "My lord, I have these things to talk to you about," and he'll address those out in the open, and the courtiers are there to listen in and pay attention to what's going on. So yeah, Elisandra probably spends most of her time in that scene, kind of with those other courtiers.
Let's call it in the open hall, where the king is sitting on his throne at the far end of the room, and I'm kind of wandering the gallery, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Lady Elisandra there. Are any of the other characters there? Side note.
Yeah, I mean, Miro
I'm
and
just
Miro
giving
and
people the opportunity to
Miro and Agatha could both definitely be there, right? They're allowed.
Around.
Yeah.
Everyone wants their fortune read or some bullshit.
Well, the king is gonna have to have a conversation with Agatha. That's the next scene that I want with him and with you. But we'll get to that.
All right. Well, assuming there's somebody addressing the king and there's some serious conversation going on, and I don't want to get involved in that. Whatever that is, that's not important to me right now. I made fun of the last guy, so I can give this guy this guy a break and like scoot over to where Elisandra's standing.
Okay.
And pick my way through the crowd in a very obvious fashion because I am the most obvious thing ever.
Okay. Yeah, Elisand and Reza are both there.
Alessandra.
Elisandra? Okay.
Like Alexandra.
Okay.
Alessandra.
Elisandra. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You pronounced
Elisandra and Reza are both there. And they're
My
standing.
dear Lady of Crows, how delightful it is to see you again.
And
Always
I feel like I was in a group, probably like, Reza and like maybe 3 other people or something, and we were talking about some bullshit, and you like come up and I do the whole like very slow head turn, look down at you sort of thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your chirping? My apologies. I never can tell when people are busy. It's not really something that I'm wholly concerned about. However, I am very interested in a few of your friends here.
And I look to the group and I say, by all means, entertain us, fool.
What about this one? I say, pointing at Reza, who I know is like related to the king distantly, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's the king's
These
like
are the same house.
cousin in the sense that they share a relative.
Does the seed fall far from the tree?
And
is he noble, handsome, and strong like our dear leader, the king?
And Reza loves this. Reza loves this shit. He's grinning and he's just like, ooh, do me. Yeah. Like So he's just like, he's got a grin on his face and he's just kind of like looking at you like, oh yeah, go do it.
Because I don't know what I think of the state of that hair. Very unkempt, very be better suited on maybe a peasant boy or
and he scoffs. He's like, but fool, I'm hurt. Then he looks at the ladies that are gathered around and he grins and he says you concern yourself too much with the leaves when you should be thinking about the root. And he like grabs his crotch and like the girls kind of like giggle and like the courtiers like look at you like, ooh, how crass. And he kind of like laughs. He's like,
I step in towards him and I go like, the root. Yes, the root of the problem. Let's see here. You seem like you've got a firm grasp on it. I'm sure you have a firm grasp on it several nights a week, all alone by yourself in your room. Oh, such a shame. Such a shame. It's so neglected, poorly watered.
And he laughs and he like looks around at the ladies again and he says, always room in my bed chamber. And they're just more like he like politely giggling.
And I just sort of eye roll and go, always room indeed.
And yeah, he's like, he thinks this is hilarious.
Of course. And I think it's crass and unbecoming, but what can I do, right? So the whole time, like, I'm just standing there, like, watching, like, Reza be, like, crude and, I don't know, like, not whatever. But I'm just like, right. And I'm looking around at, like, any women in our group. I'm assuming because I'm not ingratiating myself to them, none of them are new to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for someone who seems to be, like, less, oh, haha, how funny, how crude, and more like, oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to circles up someone who might be interested in having sex with Reza?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about what the parameters for this person might be. What do you want? What do you want these people to be like?
I want them to be like, because my belief is that I need to find someone suitable for Reza. So it's got to be at least, a noble.
There aren't any just thirsty noble women out there.
I mean, that's the whole reason they are courtiers, is because they're thirsty noble women.
That's why we're making this roll. Yep.
That's the whole reason they're at court, to get a husband, right?
I mean,
Yes.
no, sure,
Yes.
some of them.
100%.
But you
they,
want us to
like, you're
be-
not also one of them.
Yeah.
I was, and then I got a husband, and now I'm fine.
And then he died, and now you have
He
two weird boyfriends.
died.
Okay, let me find the deal here. So
So it's like similar station,
Yeah.
amenable to
I mean, I know.
watering his root.
Yeah, amenable, similar station, amenable, because that's what I'm looking at the group of us for, and also like I know Reza well enough to know like what he goes for, so like maybe dark haired or
Someone
something.
who looks a little bit like yours truly.
Yeah,
okay.
find him a lady.
Are you interested in having this lady be someone who's like in your pocket, or
I mean,
how
I guess that's depending.
Machiavellian do you want to get with this business?
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, I just want him out of my hair. So
the
preferably
backfire
someone who's
the
capable.
backfire here, you do have to be careful. The backfire here is that you give him an ally against you, right? That he's like, oh yes, this other woman who's just as Machiavellian as you are is going to help me get rid of you and take my house back and like all that stuff, right? Like you got to be careful about this person.
I would still like to try and find
Oh God, do we have room for two fucking Alessandras at court? Fucking cat fighters.
You look over and you
I
see
mean-
yourself, but with a goatee. Okay, so you're looking for it's they're in the right place. It's a person involved in an occupation in their proper place. The same station rank or social class as you, but disposition and knowledge different from members of circle. So someone like particularly interested in him.
How exceptional is it for someone to be
Well,
interested
so this
in
is the
Wait,
thing is
what's
there's
the-
lots of these courtiers would go to bed with Reza. He's rugged and handsome and rich and like whatever. They would
lusty?
yeah, exactly. Like
And a larch.
yeah, and he's an important guy, but what you're looking for is someone that is looking above and beyond that, right? Like if you just want someone to bone him, this is Ob 1. She's
That's
standing
not
right
gonna be
there.
distracting.
Exactly.
enough.
You want someone who will
That would
turn
be a
him
nice-
down, but not in a way that's going to piss him off. Someone who, in a lot of ways, you are very much like creating your equal here. You're looking for someone who's going to like do what
Well,
you've been
no
doing
one is
with
quite
him.
my equal,
We'll see
but go
about that.
on.
Well, let's see. Roll the thing.
Yeah.
So
So
what's the ob
I
for
think
this?
the ob here, I want to say it's ob 4 because I feel like specific disposition or detailed rare knowledge, like you're looking for someone particular. Yeah, I think it's ob 4. I think we're gonna go with ob 4.
Sing the matchmaker song.
This
Now,
is gonna suck.
well, hold on. With circles, don't jump in and start throwing dice on the table. You can use your affiliations, right?
Yes. Nobility obviously would
Yeah.
suit.
Yep. You can use your reputation if you have an appropriate one.
I don't have a
Okay.
reputation.
And for circles, you can let's see. I'm just checking if you can do like link tests or anything else, but I don't know that you can. Here we go. Yeah, appropriate wises can be used as link tests for circles.
A wise could be
Yes,
used as
like
a link test.
Noble wise.
Or strumpet wise.
I don't have strumpet.
No,
Uh,
strumpet wise would be easier because this room is full of strumpets. Yeah, you do a link test with a wise, so noble wise might.
Yeah, I could justify a linked test with noble wise.
Okay.
I would like to.
Call it an ob 2 noble wise test then.
Okay, and I can fork things into the noble wise test,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And then what does this give me if it's a
a
success?
bonus die if you get above the
Above.
ob. A penalty, a bonus to the bonus. The ob will go up if you fail.
Forking that
So-
sweet staff wise.
No. So I think I'm gonna do the noble wise test, and then I'm gonna fork in court gossip wise because
Nice.
I've definitely been
Uh-huh.
listening.
You could fork astrology if you look for someone like, oh, Reza's a Scorpio, so he's going to be looking for a Capricorn.
I mean, Reza is very much a Scorpio.
It's true.
I don't know what that. So what does the forking in astrology mean? I would roll it
It's your
separately.
It's your special die. Yeah.
And then if it's a success, it counts towards it. But if it's a What does the astrology do?
If you succeed, it's open on both ends. So it's open on the 6 end, and you just keep rolling it. It's open on the 1. If you roll a 1, you re-roll it, and failures will take away your successes. It's a gamble.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do the Noble Wise without astrology.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
not gonna consult the stars.
So Ob 2, Noble Wise with Gossip Wise forked in.
Okay, yeah. Ob 2. Got it. Noble Wise. Hello? Click. Yeah. Oh, so
Okay, so it's just now if you want to spend a fate, you've got a 6.
sure.
So this
Why
will give
the
you an
hell
extra.
not?
This would give you an extra die. Okay.
I mean, so if I just have a success, there's no extra anything.
Yes, it's just no penalty, no success. If you can get one more success, you'll get a bonus die in your circles.
Yes.
There you go. Roll it again. It's still open ended. It's not gonna make any. Jesus
What
Christ!
What the fuck?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
way.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So you got 4.
I got 4 successes.
Yeah.
So it's still just 1 die.
Yeah. So you get an extra die on
circles.
circles. Yep.
And then I have an extra die for my affiliation with nobility.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the ob for?
Yeah, it was 4. Yep.
Oh, fuck.
So close.
And that was open ended too. I should have used my.
You got a
fate for
6, so you could have used your fate on that, but that's okay. You would have had 1 less die, so who knows? So anyway, here's the thing. I am definitely invoking the enmity clause here, like 100% definitely.
So she exists but hates me.
Yeah.
She doesn't necessarily hate you.
Or-
we haven't had an enmity clause come up yet, so I'll describe it for
Blame
you.
me.
I have somewhere a list of like. Someone posted on a forum, like, here's a bunch of different things that you could use for the enmity clause. But basically, the GM can invoke the enmity clause. Rather than finding someone favorably disposed, the player finds out they have an enemy out there. Someone who feels insulted, mocked, intimidated, cheated, or scorned by the character. So inimical characters do not have to be outright enemies. Neither do they have to be the character the player was seeking. They can pretend to work with you and help them. Of course, they can be full of half-truths and lies. They can attempt extortion and blackmail. You could turn them to your friend. But now
they don't start that way.
But right now they're not. Yeah.
So this person, this woman, I think the thing here is she's perfect because maybe I do like the idea of her being too much like you, right? Like, yeah, she comes up in gossip. She comes up in gossip in similar conversations like with you, where people are like, "Oh, that lady Alessandra, like she's dangerous," and they're like, "Oh, you know who else is like that?" Yeah, and so this woman is like someone who people put the two of you kind of in a similar like don't cross her. So she's dangerous, but that might make her someone.
That's
someone
just what
useful.
Reza likes.
Yeah, I think she's a visiting noble. She's exotic in a way that like she's from somewhere else. I like the idea of putting her in like some kind of cat themed house.
Or fox themed would be the other.
Oh no, I know who she is.
Vulpus.
Yeah, so House Vulpus already exists, right? Yeah, she's already in the court. She's House Vulpus, so she's the queen's cousin's sister. Yeah. The queen's cousin's sister. She needs a cool name. Let's find one for her.
Ariana Vulpus.
Let's see. Her brother's name is Soren.
Helen. Do we want to give them like Greek names?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like
Yep.
Hecate or
Hecate is awesome.
Let's see. I'd save Hecate for something else. Her name is Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Her name is Tabitha Vulpus.
So I put that down on my circles.
Yeah. This is perfect because I was going to use this scene to introduce Soren.
This isn't enemy circles, it's just circles, right?
It's enemy
this
circles.
is enemy circles.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is your enemy.
Tabitha Vulpus.
Yeah. So House Vulpus has their seat in the lands of the south. She has like olive skin, long, like perfectly shiny black hair that's always done up in some kind of like, complicated House Vulpus like style. She dresses in bright saffrons and oranges, and she is known to be a woman who she excels at all the things a courtly lady should. She can play several instruments, speaks many languages, is a student, a scholar of poetry. There's lots of people in court like her, but she's intimidating because she's so great. And yeah, she's the perfect person to draw. You've caught Reza like staring at her tons of times. And I think you see her. I'm going to introduce her brother later in this scene, but I don't want to take it away from Joy. You've been hassling Reza, and he's been using it as an example to talk about his dick because whatever.
And I use this circumstance to go like to present an opening for Alessandra to separate us from the group here.
Right. So what happens is that Reza is like, ladies, and like it draws the attention of all of the other courtiers that are around, which draws his attention away, which leaves you and Alessandra separated, but Alessandra is looking across the crowd at the Lady Vulpes.
And at this point I go, and this is just to like provoke Alessandra, because I know that she's not friends with Reza, so to speak, and to maybe get her to like, you know, have a reason to drag me off somewhere or something. Like, just do something rude. And I say, My Lady of Crows, have you ever shared that space, that bed, the empty, warm, comfortable nights that you could have next to such a man? You know, like, basically. While all the other
They say there's no warmer love than that of a brother.
Yeah.
God,
yeah, exactly.
God.
Stab her, just straight up, just like.
After the tragic death of your husband, I can understand searching for someone close by.
Reza is a brother to me and nothing more.
Now, hold on, because I feel a falsehood test coming on.
Ah, fuck, no, please.
You're flat out lying to Joy. That is super not true.
Flat out lying.
Yeah, let's make that falsehood test.
No, why? No.
What's your will, Joy?
So
My will is 4.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought that's it.
may I propose
Please.
that this is in fact a versus test where each of them are trying to one up the other, Joy with her ugly truth or something like that, trying to incite Lady Alessandra into slipping up, and Lady Alessandra is trying to keep her poker face, right? And just be like,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm
That's
so
true,
above-"
because you're not trying to convince her of a lie. You're both.
Yeah.
They're both active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both trying to put the other down. One is trying to shut one down, the other's trying to incite the other.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just trying to create space for a private conversation, damn it.
No, it's
like,
great.
By
It's great.
suggesting something that you might not know is true.
Yeah,
Well, and
because you
that's-
don't. Well, that's what's great about it is the fool sometimes just says bullshit things and then catches people be like, that's a preposterous
I
lie.
have a feeling that you don't know that I'm sleeping with Reza, and you.
Oh,
say
yeah. No,
that,
this is
and
you're
I'm
stumbling
like,
into
"Oh,
it.
I have no idea. I didn't even know out of character you were doing that.
Yes, I'm sleeping with Reza.
Just putting it out there.
Well, I love this is the thing that the fool would do, right? The fool would be introduced to a new person and be like, "Oh, you look like the sort who'd fuck a pig," and they'd be like, "Just the once," and you're like, "Oh, I got you."
Hey, look, fucking a pig is only something that people in British Parliament do, okay?
I like it. Okay.
Okay, what the fuck am I doing
So
here?
this is you're gonna roll a versus test. It's gonna be falsehood versus ugly truth, I think. But the problem is we'll get the ugly truth first because Alessandra, you have to get 2 successes for every one.
So am I
that
just
Joy
ugly?
gets.
I'm just ugly truth. I'm just ugly
Yeah.
truth.
But you can still fork and do all of that stuff. Alessandra, you
I
can't
can't
because
fork,
you're not
yes.
good at
I am-
lying yet.
I'm gonna ugly truth, but I think I'd like to fork in sleight of hand for a little bit of, you know.
I don't
hate you
think
so much.
I don't think you can fork sleight of hand into this. You can make
Okay,
as many
fine.
rude gestures as you like.
Move
But-
in your hand. That's not.
I don't know. I thought I'd try.
That's
People
fine.
fork
It's okay.
Bullshit all the time.
That's fine. But if you have anything to do with like gossip or
Can I fork in inconspicuous in terms of like that they were trying to make this sidelong for the next thing, or is it just like this action is just ugly?
no, this is just you trying to
Alright, fine.
to get you'll like learn something about Alessandra if you succeed
Done.
this, but you may not have
Consider-
you may not have any fork.
I'll just roll it as ob 1, I guess. Yeah. one.
Yeah, the actual ob will be whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
all right, so you get
so-
one success.
so you
Do you
need a
want to?
two.
Oh, you don't have any sixes. So
No.
okay, so you need 2 successes, Alessandra, on this.
And I just roll the falsehood that I'm learning,
Yes.
and I can't fork anything in.
Put in ob 1, it'll double it to 2, and no, you can't fork anything. Boom. All right. So what happens here is that Joy, you, I think, and you can tell me how you interpret this, but I think this is just you being rude and making a joke, and
Yeah.
Alessandra answers and lies to you and is like, no, this isn't happening. And I
And I believe
And
it.
also,
believe.
I'm not going to stand for your shit.
So,
yeah.
and at this point, I'd like to be like, Lady Alessandra, I'm trying to move us. You know, like,
Right. You're like,
hey, idiot, come with me. You know, and like
You
walk
can't
out
just
of the.
come up to me as
Yes,
a
I can.
servant in a
Yes, I
circle
can.
of people and expect me to just walk away with you.
As the jester, I've created a situation where everybody's looking at Reza. You can come with me. That's the plan.
yeah. So I think that the
mean-
thing here is the two of you can sort of slip away.
I feel like the thing that I want to do is like I know that Reza's making a ass of himself, and I like purposefully like, but he's also usually paying attention to where I am because he's Reza and he always pays attention to me. So I like purposely walk like so that the line of sight with me crosses behind the line of sight with Lady Vulpes, and then
Oh,
like
you wanna
you'll
use
get
her-
Yeah.
Use her to distract him.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's have you and Joy. You can help.
Yeah.
Let's have you make Alessandra. Let's have you make a test to slip away. Now you're only trying to beat Reza in this case, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Reza, I should start a character sheet for him because y'all keep doing shit that he's involved in.
Okay.
And I think this would be it's an inconspicuous test.
Oh shit. Oh no, when masquerading. Okay, that's fine. Sorry. I knew that there was something about mark of privilege and inconspicuous, but it's only when I'm trying to not be myself.
Yeah, it's harder for you. What's Reza's full name?
You put it on the thing. It's
don't have it handy.
Reza Albius of House Lyrics.
Okay. All right. So Reza doesn't need a whole character sheet or anything, but we have established that his will is 4.
Mm-hmm.
And his perception, I think, will be 3. Okay. So he's making a it's a versus test. His perception against your inconspicuous. Do you have that skill?
I do.
Okay. All right. Great. So
And
go
I
ahead.
can help, right?
Yes, so you've got a helping die. I think you also have a helping die from. No, I think this all counts as one thing. So yeah, Joy creating that situation is the helping here.
Okay.
So you have a helping die for inconspicuous.
All right. And
Yeah, and he's actually testing his observation. So whatever you get, it doubles. So this should be easy for you.
Okay. And then I'll just do it. And cross my fingers.
Also, Elf, don't forget to mark that ugly truth not as routine, but as against the falsehood test.
But it
against the
wasn't.
4 successes.
The 4 successes, yeah. So this was
Oh.
actually 4 dice versus 4.
Oh, okay.
So what would the obstacle be?
It's
obstacle?
a versus test. So just set the ob as 1, and then we'll figure it out after.
I got 0 successes.
Oh shit! All right. Well, he notices you disappear with the yeah. He's not gonna come after you right away, but he'll interrupt your conversation.
Great. Awesome.
So I think the camera follows the two of you, like trying to slip away into the crowd. I should roll anyway, just so you know how to mark that test.
Okay.
Because I guess if he fails too,
He could roll 0 successes.
he could
as
roll
well.
0 success.
Or actually, if he doesn't roll 2 successes because he's beginner's luck, he needs to get at least 2 to count as 1.
Yeah, it's true. Boom. I'm
Well,
good at
shit.
role playing games.
So it would be 3 dice versus 3, or 4 dice. Versus
Four
3?
dice versus 3. Yep.
Okay.
So he spots you. Like he looks through the crowd. He spots you, And I think, I think that he doesn't notice the Lady Vulpus. Like maybe she's slipped away or something to kind of counter you. But
Or maybe like she's in shadow and
yeah, and he
not
sees
as
you and
obvious.
Joy slip away, and maybe we see like a scowl on his face. And we pan across with the two of you, but the camera stops when it gets to Agatha at the throne. Right, it's 4 versus 1 because of the double ob. Yeah, that's right. Because he
Oh, okay.
actually only got 1 success. Right, that makes sense for the purposes of your
Maths.
advancing math. Yeah. Anyway, the camera stops though on Agatha as as the king is finished talking to someone, and this person walks away, and the king turns expectantly to like start a conversation with you, Agatha. But we will have that conversation. Yeah, we'll have that conversation when we come back from our next break. So stick around. The king needs to have words with his court sorcerer.
Ah, damn! I was hoping to be present for this conversation.
Yeah, well, we'll see. This is going to be maybe a brief conversation, maybe longer. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, stick around. We will be right back with more Burning Wheel. Don't go anywhere.